Yo, what's happening? Vonnie EC, another trucker. Shout out to all the subscribers and to anybody that's new to the channel. Welcome. But yeah, man, I just paid the last payment on my truck. Finally paid the last payment on my truck, along with my experience in leasing, slash buying a truck from Long Mountain. So really, actually, I made my last payment last week, right before I had went out of town and shit. I'm just getting back in town, as a matter of fact. But yeah, made the last payment, man. I feel pretty good about it, It's a milestone in my journey. But I do got some regrets. I definitely got some regrets. But I'm not gonna keep it too long. Yeah, man, what I paid for the truck, what I put down for the truck, and what I overall paid for that truck at the time that I got it, I'm just gonna be honest with you, it wasn't worth it. I got my truck, August? Like towards the end of July, beginning of August, September. No, let me take that back. I picked up my truck like sometime in July, I think. And my first payment was due September 1st, 2022. And yeah, so I got the truck in 22. And around that time, man, truck prices was sky high. The inflation was outrageous. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I was ready to jump in the game at that point in time, the owner-operator game. And I don't know. I just rolled the dice. I took the now or never approach. If I don't do it now, I ain't gonna never do it. I got a bad habit of procrastinating and calculating and shit like that. So at that particular moment, that's when I was like, you know what? Let me get in the habit of breaking my curse of procrastinating and going through paralysis analysis. But that was a bad decision. So I put out $18,000 on this truck, and shit, all together, now I paid $96,000. I paid almost $100,000 for a truck that really wasn't worth no more than $50,000 in the regular market. Yeah, man, it really hurt my feelings. Well, you know what? Let me go through the process with Long Mountain. Now as far as like all the paperwork and shit like that, I can't remember everything. So forgive me for leaving out details, but I just want to, it's basically on the physicalities and the mechanical issues with the truck is what I want to talk about. As far as the process of paperwork and all that different type of shit, and with Long Mountain, when you decide you want to go that route, you will find out. But so yeah, I eventually got approved by Long Mountain to get a truck. I know, because I actually tried to get approved at Long Mountain in 2021, but for some reason I didn't get approved. I don't know if it was my credit was too low. I don't know what the deal was. Because they got a few little stipulations with how they, screen people to verify them to be able to qualify for a loan. So anyway, 2022, I was able to qualify. I know my credit scores was somewhere between 720, 730. You know what I'm saying? Had a little paper stacked up. You know what I'm saying? And when you put down money on the truck, they want you to have a certain amount of money put aside in a bank, to show that you got money to be able to take care of this truck if something go wrong. So I don't know the specifics of exactly how much they request for you to have in the bank, but they do request for you to have reserves in an account or have some type of maintenance account, in order to qualify to get the truck, even after you put the down payment down. So, basically in a nutshell, man, did all that, man. They asked me, what I was looking for. I told them what kind of truck I was looking for, Freightliner, whoop-de-whoop. They came with a few options. emailed me some photos of different trucks. You know, you can only judge a truck so far from pictures. Pictures ain't really shit, but from the few trucks that they sent me that they had available with what I was looking for, I chose one, and this truck happened to be out of state, because I think it's a Long Mountain, not too far from. It's in the area where I live at. This fact, I think it's probably like the only Long Mountain dealership that's close to me within the area that I live at in South Holland, Illinois. But the truck that I ended up choosing, that truck was in Fort Worth, Texas. So I had to go to Fort Worth, Texas to go pick up my truck. So I gets down there. You know, they got the truck nice and shined up, polished up, looking good, brand new tires, you know what I mean? Tires looking like ground beef. You know how fresh ground beef look. You know, it got the lines and the ridges and shit in there. You know, that's how the tires look. Fresh, you know, thick thread. You know, they give you brand good tires, you know what I'm saying? They don't give you no recaps. At least as far as from what I know, I didn't have no recaps. So they give you, they put some good tires on there, you know, have you DOT ready. Yeah. So I got to test drive the truck. You know, everything checked out as far as what, you know, I thought I knew about trucks. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I test drove the truck, and at this particular location where I picked this truck up at in Fort Worth, Texas, it wasn't nobody working in the office, but this location, they had a mechanic shop. So it was a few mechanics there. And basically, you know what I'm saying, it was like one of the mechanics had to help guide me through shit. So, you know, once I gave the green light on the truck after test drive, and it took me to this office in another building, and I had this call set up with a you know, this secretary or this lady representative, to where we had to go over all the paperwork with me signing my life away. You know, signing this novel of paperwork. So she on the phone, I'm signing all this paperwork. She going over it with me, but yeah, you know how it is, man. Sometimes we just think about doing what we got to do to get what we want, but sometimes we don't be knowing what we doing or what we getting ourselves into. You know what I'm saying? So to sit up here and be honest and to say that I understood every single piece of paperwork that I signed my name on, I would be lying. You know what I'm saying? Which is a mistake. So anyway, get through with that. Boom, everything checked out. I think I ended up leaving the next day. I stopped in Denton. I think it's Denton, Texas. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's Denton, Texas. It's a Love's in Denton, Texas, somewhere outside of Dallas. But I stopped there and got a inspection. I kept pushing on down the road, and I think that night my truck ended up derating to 55 miles per hour. And I don't know where I was at, man. I probably was somewhere in Oklahoma. If I'm not mistaken. I don't know. But I pulled over at another Love's, and tried to get them to come and look at it, check it out or whatnot. I don't know. They told me I had to wait till the morning. So eventually, when the morning came, I just went on ahead and bounced and peeled out. Now, yeah, that night I was trying to do everything that I can do, or you know, that I thought I could do to fix that problem. As far as dealing with the D rate, you know what I mean? I was trying to what the hell is that? Not D rate, but regenerate. Yeah, I was trying to do a regen. I don't know if I was able to do a regen. If I was able to do a regen, it didn't mean shit. So anyway, when the next morning came and I peeled off, somewhere down the road, my shit continued to go down to 5 miles per hour. You know what I'm saying? Continue to derate 5 miles to 5 miles per hour. And at this time, man, I'm pretty much stuck. And you know, I had to call towing. Couldn't figure the issue out. Had to call towing, and I'm like probably like an hour and a half outside of St. Louis. So ended up taking it to I think this is the only freight line in St. Louis. So I didn't know what else to do. You know what I'm saying? I figured the best thing would be to take it to a freight liner. So took it to the freight liner. So with the towing, and eventually, with the freight liner told me that it was a knock sensor. Can't remember which one it was, the inlet or the outlet, but it was a knock sensor. So towing $1,800, knock sensor, that's $1,500. So boom. Before I even get my truck back up to Illinois, I ain't even got my truck back home yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm already out of $3,100. So I had to wait a week till my truck got repaired, because at this time they still had the bottleneck in the supply chain a little bit. Some parts were still a little hard to get still at this time, you know what I mean? So yeah, I had to wait a week to get my truck back, and at this time I'm still working at my previous job, so I'm trying to take time off, bob and weave, and trying to get shit done in my little loopholes of time that I got, trying to keep shit copacetic, till it's fully time for me to go ahead and rise up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, make a long story short, man, once I finally get my truck put on, you know what I'm saying, with the company that I'm on with now, my truck had to go through their inspection. Come to find out, I had to get another $1,800 worth of work done on my truck. Few things, you know what I'm saying? It was a few things. I can't really remember, man. I think one of the things was like a pulley, one of the pulleys, where the belts go. It was some other little shit that they found during the inspection. So, but it turned out to be like $1,800 worth of work. So now I'm out of $1,800. $1,800 plus 33. That's $5,100. You know what I'm saying? They ain't even took a load yet. So, but once I got to running, once the truck got to running, man, truck ran good. I think my first actual week of running was October 1st, that week. That's when I first started running, October 1st, 2022. And the next major payment, the next major thing that I had to deal with, I had to get a radiator in the beginning of January 2023. But after that radiator, man, that whole year, 2023, man, was pretty much a good year with that truck, man. I stayed up with my maintenance, you know what I'm saying? But when 2024 came around, started having a lot of after treatment system problems, just in a nutshell. I mean, you're spending money on these trucks regardless, but I'm just trying to hit specific high points, when the truck really started taking money away from me, man, at an accelerated rate. So yeah, 2024, man, the turn of 2024, it wasn't good for me. It wasn't good for me at all. And most of the problems was depth issues. You know what I'm saying? Because to be honest, the engine itself, the DD15, man, I have to say, now that I got a little bit more knowledge about how these trucks work, or with my little experience, I think the DD15 is a reliable engine. You know what I'm saying? I've heard mixed things about it. And sometimes you have to go through shit to see things for yourself, to put shit together for yourself. Because some people say, oh, they trash and they don't last this long, and once they get up to this amount of mileage, they're gonna break down. Everybody got something to say. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to look at shit through your own perspective and put it together yourself. So I can say right now that the DD15, man, is a strong engine. It's a reliable engine, but the only thing that make a lot of these new modern trucks crappy is the after treatment system. You know what I'm saying? So, because other than that, the only problem I ever had with my engine thus far is having to get a fuel injector replaced. But as far as after treatment system, the last major thing that I had to do was get a one box, and that was last October. And truck been running pretty good since then, man. Truck been running damn good. since then. And I just went, you know, since within these past, what, going on almost 3 years that I've been an owner operator, you know, I've learned a lot about a lot, especially with being hands-on with my truck, especially coming in not knowing anything about the mechanicals of a truck, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, not saying that I really know shit now, to be honest with you, but I done learned a few things, you know, and you know, I got a little bit more understanding about a couple more things. So yeah, man, I fuck with my truck. You know what I'm saying? She been letting me get to it. So I don't know, man. Like I say, truck paid off. All I can really ask for, if I can just get two good years out of it. My truck is what? I think I got about 770,000 miles on it. When I got the truck, it was like at 560. Somewhere between 550 and 560. 100,000 miles. So shit, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I hear some people say that these trucks, they start breaking down at around 700,000 miles. And I heard a lot of people say if you take care of these trucks, they can get to 1 million and over. I don't know. We gonna see. I'm planning to get to 1 million and over. You know what I'm saying? Before I had to do something major or whatever the case may be. But man, shit, if I can get 2 years, man. If I can get 2 years out of this truck without nothing major happening, then this truck would have proved itself to be an asset. Because as of right now, I have to be honest, if we're going to be technical, man, the truck really been a liability. You know what I'm saying? It took a lot of money from me. You know what I'm saying? Put me in some debt that, you know what I'm saying, I'm still climbing up out of right now. Which is, you know, everything is cool, you know what I'm saying? We getting back on track. You know, it happens. It happens to the best of us. When we try to do shit, we get knocked down. No matter what part of life, way of life that you in, wherever. You know what I'm saying? We all got to go through that shit. So it is what it is. But shit cool, you know what I mean? We running. But as far as Long Mountain, man, this video is not to bash Long Mountain at all. Because I think Long Mountain, I can't really speak on no other dealerships because I never bought no other truck from no other dealership. But I'm pretty sure they probably operate the same way. You know, two popular lots that I hear about is Long Mountain and Aero Sales. But, you know, with this particular truck, you know, my experience is with Long Mountain. Hey, man, I think Long Mountain is a decent option to go to or to go through to getting you a truck. I think the thing with Long Mountain, is why a lot of people end up in a lot of fucked up situations and leases, because people don't want to go, they don't want to do their due diligence to fix their credit and get their financial situation straight to be able to qualify for Long Mountain. Because yeah, you got to meet certain requirements to be able to finance a truck from Long Mountain. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure it's the same thing with Aero, but Long Mountain, yeah. So I don't think Long Mountain is a bad place to get a truck from. The thing that I've learned is that you have to do your due diligence. You know what I'm saying? It's not Long Mountain's job to spend money on a truck to make sure that you get a perfect truck when you leave off that lot. Yeah, of course, it's expected that if you pay money and you roll off that lot, that dealership with that truck is supposed to run. But that don't be the case all the time. You know, they getting these trucks from these fleets, or, you know what I'm saying, these mega carriers, and these mega carriers, they're not, soon as whatever warranties that these mega carriers got on these trucks, man, as soon as the warranties is up on them trucks, they trading them trucks in. You know what I'm saying? With these warranties lasting anywhere between 4 and 5 years. So after these companies and had these trucks for a few years, 4 or 5 years, man, they getting rid of them. And then that's when these dealerships like Long Mountain, Aero Sales, and etc., they get these trucks and they selling them to you. You know what I mean? And they not doing a whole lot of work to these trucks. The only thing they doing to these trucks is getting them, making sure they DOT ready. That's the best they gonna do. You know, I don't even really think they gonna do no after treatment system work, because a lot of shit with the after treatment system, if there's a problem with the after treatment system, is more so codes that's gonna be thrown up, and you know, especially in your dash and shit. So it's gonna be more so codes that's gonna be thrown up, and it's easy to just bypass those codes. You know what I'm saying? It's a they got handheld devices to where a regular trucker can have. That matter of fact, that I need to get. That's gonna be the next thing I'm gonna get, to where you can wipe away your own codes. So that way, if you got some depth system issues, you might, you know what I'm saying, you can clear one. You got some codes popping up, you can clear them codes, and to be able to, you know, for your truck to be able to drive to get you somewhere, to get the problem checked out and taken care of. That way you ain't gotta be paying for towing and all that different type of shit. So now in my situation, my first issue was an after treatment system problem. And I'm gonna say this, I personally believe that Long Mountain knew, whoever was hands-on with my truck, I personally believe that they knew that my truck was having after treatment system problems. I personally believe that that truck was storing up codes before I got it. And all they did was just erase them codes and just said, we gonna let whoever come and get this truck, we gonna let them deal with that shit. Because they're not gonna spend no money. They're not in the business. These dealerships, they're not in the business of spending their money to give you a perfect truck. You know what I'm saying? That's why you are there. A lot of places always having you sign this, you buy as is type shit. Because they trying to make money. You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. I mean, you think about it from a business perspective, what sense do it make to buy a used vehicle to sell, but you still put money into it to get it perfect to sell it? No, you get that motherfucker, you get it, and you know, if it's some obvious things that need to be taken care of, you address that, and you know, get it right, get it nice and pretty, because that's the most they gonna do, get it DOT ready. But they not finna diagnose your truck and go all into it. You know what I'm saying? And even me, you know, another mistake that I made, I didn't get no dyno tests. I didn't get no oil samples. You know what I'm saying? I didn't come with no mechanic. A lot of us we don't do this shit. We just go get in the truck and go hop our happy ass in the truck and pull over, and we finna get to the money. And then when shit start going wrong with the truck, then we sitting up there looking stupid. You know what I'm saying? So, hey man, I'm just being transparent about it. You know, I can admit my mistakes. To get in the truck in the time, like the truck that I have is honestly a good truck, but what I paid for it, for as far as what the average cost of that truck would usually be outside of an inflationary market, it was not worth it. It wasn't worth it. That was the wrong time. That was a bad move on my part. You know, I remember when the truck broke down the very first time. When it broke down half an hour and a half outside of St. Louis, I called Long Mountain to address the situation. They was acting like there wasn't nothing they can do about it. It was basically, they was acting like the best that they can do was have me bring the truck back so they can look at it. But how was I gonna get it back? Because they was acting like they wasn't gonna pay for nothing. And at that point, that's when I realized I fucked up. Yeah, that's when I realized that I screwed up. So I just ate it. I just dealt with it. But see, I was able to deal with it because I had reserves put up. You know what I'm saying? I didn't come in the game with the bare minimum. And see, that's another thing. That's why I always say it's important for people to have paper stacked up. Now, I ain't the one to sit up here and tell you how much money you should have stacked up before you get off into your owner operator shit, or you financing the truck, or whatever the case may be. It's really subjective, but it should be common sense to me. It should just be common sense. Like, bro, it take money to play this game. You know what I'm saying? To have your own equipment, it take money. These are machines. These machines break down. They will disappoint you. These are not humans. They're machines. They go through a lot of wear and tear on these roads. You know what I'm saying? These machines are getting beat up all the time, so they will break down. There will always be problems with these machines. So you need money. You need resources to be able to tend to the problems of these machines to keep your shit rolling. Because if you try to play this game with the bare minimum amount of money, you know, you're going to find yourself in some bad situations. And like I said, I can't tell nobody how much money they need to have. But do your research. You know, if you really been paying attention to trucking like how you supposed to be paying attention, you should know that these is $1,000 problems. Like, these problems ain't no joke with these trucks. This ain't problems with your 2000 something Buick, where you pay a couple $100 for an alternator, or 60, you know what I'm saying, a few dollars for a battery, you know, to where shit they got to be fixed on a regular car, you ain't got to pay no more than $500 for a specific problem. With a truck, with a semi truck, and you got to get something fixed on your truck to get your truck back moving, and all it costs you with $500, that's chump change. Your whole idea about money with this truck and shit and how you look at shit is going to change. And it's going to have to change. Because if it don't, you're not going to make it. So, me, you know, my owner-operator journey has been bumpy. But I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? And just to be on a positive note, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty stoic about shit. It ain't really too much shit that really surprises me or excites me. You know what I'm saying? But for the sake of the video and being positive, you know, I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little pat on the back for at least making it to getting my truck paid off. So that's one debt that I ain't got to worry about no more. If the truck blew up tomorrow, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I tried. But I ain't got to worry about paying for that motherfucker. So the best way that truck can pay me back and become an asset and what I got going on, man, give me 2 years. Even 1 year. 1 year. One good year. But if I get 2, yeah. So I ain't asking for much. You know what I'm saying? But hey, yeah, so that's my little journey with getting the truck through Long Mountain, man. Like I said, I just kept it short, sweet, and simple, man. You know, y'all want to know the complete ins and outs of the paperwork and all that, you're going to have to go to somebody else's channel, or you're going to have to call Long Mountain yourself. Once again, not bashing Long Mountain. I think Long Mountain is a good place to go get a truck from, to be honest with you. It's just up to the person. It's up to you to do your due diligence and know what you're getting yourself into. And the number one most important thing is being prepared. Being prepared. And the only reason I was even able to last this long is because at least I can say I came in with some type of preparation. Because if I would have came in with the bare minimum, I would have been spit out the game. Been spit out. Long time ago. So, you know, y'all take that as you will. Vanity C, another trucker, gone.